Hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Michael Garcia, and I am a board certified psychiatrist. And as a child and adolescent psychiatrist, I've seen firsthand how emotional skills shape lifelong well being. Today, I'm going to give a presentation on nurturing emotional growth and resilience in children. And we'll explore how parents can help children thrive emotionally, even in tough times. So, our goal for today is to provide practical strategies to support your child's emotional well being. Emotional development is a fundamental aspect of a child's growth. It involves learning to recognize, express, and manage emotions effectively. These skills shape how children interact with each other, handle challenges, and build resilience over time. Some key emotional milestones definitely vary by age. In infancy and toddlerhood, children can experience and express basic emotions such as joy, fear, and frustration. As they grow into preschool and early childhood, they begin to understand and label their emotions, show empathy, and learn basic self-regulation skills. By the time the children reach school age, they develop more nuanced emotional awareness, manage frustration better, and can start to use coping strategies independently. In adolescence, emotions become even more complex as teens navigate identity, peer relationships, and increasing independence. Recognizing these milestones help us provide the right support at the right time, fostering emotional well-being throughout development. Why does emotional development matter? Well, emotional development lays the foundation for a child's overall well-being. It plays a crucial role in mental health, relationships, and even academic success. When children learn to recognize and manage their emotions, they are better equipped to handle stress, build strong social connections, and navigate challenges in a healthy way. So healthy emotional skills also support problem solving and adaptability. A child who can regulate their emotions is more likely to think clearly under pressure, work through conflicts, approach difficult situations with resilience. These skills not only help in childhood, but set the stage for success in adulthood as well. So by fostering emotional development early, we can empower children with the tools that they need to thrive in all areas of life. So, age-appropriate emotional milestones. Emotional development happens in stages, and understanding these milestones help us provide the right support at each age. If we look at infants, typically 0 to 3 years old, they can express basic emotions like joy, sadness, and fear. They also begin recognizing emotions in others, such as smiling when someone else smiles or reacting to a caregiver's tone of voice. Then, as we approach preschool age, about 3 to 5 years old, we can start developing empathy and basic emotion regulation. Emotional regulation skills improve, and they begin to understand the causes and consequences of emotions. They may comfort a friend who is sad and learn simple strategies like deep breathing to calm themselves when upset. When we look at school-age children, typically around 6 to 12 years old, they gain a deeper understanding of emotions. They can recognize more complex feelings, manage frustration more effectively, and use problem-solving strategies when facing challenges. They can also recognize emotions from vocal cues, body language, and start to understand mixed emotions, and even the concept of emotional ambivalence. Next, we can look at adolescents, 13 years or older. Typically can experience even more advanced emotional development. As they navigate identity and peer relationships, they refine their emotional regulation skills, manage stress more independently, and develop a strong sense of self. They develop the ability to understand abstract emotional concepts and can recognize and interpret more subtle emotional cues. Emotional prosody recognition becomes more complex, and they can attribute multiple emotions to a single situation. So one age group that in my opinion is often misunderstood and held to a higher emotional expectation are teenagers. As your child enters the teenage years, emotional regulation can become more complex. And it's important to recognize that milestones and shifts that occur during this phase. So when we first look at the teenage years, we can go ahead and explore increased emotional intensity. So teenagers can experience heightened emotions due to hormonal changes, increasing independence, and the pressures of school and social life. Expect emotional ups and downs, and understand that these fluctuations are normal. Next, we have the concept of development of identity. Adolescence is a critical time for identity development. Teens are exploring who they are and how they fit into the world. So emotional reactions may seem extreme at times as they navigate this process, and your support is critical. Striving for autonomy. As teens seek independence, they may push back against authority and parental guidance. This can lead to emotional tension, but it's an important part of their development. Encourage open communication and offer opportunities for them to express themselves while maintaining boundaries. Next, while emotional regulation improves with age, teenagers are still developing this skill. They may look like adults, but their brain hasn't fully developed yet. And especially the last part of the brain, which is responsible for rationalizing consequences, thinking logically, things of that nature. So they may struggle with impulse control or managing intense feelings like anger, sadness, frustration. So as a parent, you can often offer guidance and modeling, but also give them the space to practice these skills themselves. And also expectations. While it's important to support emotional expression, it's equally important to set realistic expectations. Teenagers are learning how to balance their emotions with reason, and it's normal for them to have moments of immaturity or struggle. Be patient and consistent in guiding them through these challenges. By understanding these emotional milestones, you can better support your teen's emotional development and offer them the support that they need to continue to grow into emotionally resilient individuals. Next, that brings us to parenting styles and their impact on emotional growth. Parenting styles are unique ways caregivers can interact with and guide their children. These styles shape emotional development, behavior, and resilience, influencing how children navigate relationships and challenges. Understanding different parenting approaches can help parents foster emotional well-being and long-term success in their children. Of course, these are widely generalized, and parenting styles vary across different cultures and time periods as well. But overall, we're going to explore some of the common parenting styles often explored in the literature so that we can give you the best information that we have. So, one particular parenting style is the authoritative parenting, which balances warmth with structure, creating a supportive yet disciplined environment. Research shows that this style fosters resilience, strong emotional regulation, and high self-esteem, helping children develop problem-solving skills and independence. So the traits of this authoritarian parenting is warmth with clear boundaries or structure. So this combines emotional support with consistent and fair rules. It also further encourages open communication and independence with limits. The outcomes of this: high resilience, children learn to navigate challenges with confidence, strong emotional regulation, ability to manage emotions effectively, enhanced mental health, so lower rates of anxiety and depression are actually seen with this parenting style, and problem-solving skills and self-esteem, which is also supported by the APA, the American Psychological Association. Why it works? Well, it's a balance. It balances empathy and structure, fostering a secure environment where the child can feel valued yet guided. The next parenting style is authoritarian parenting. On the other hand, this parenting style emphasizes strict rules with little warmth, which can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, and difficulty managing stress. While it promotes obedience, it may hinder emotional flexibility and confidence in decision making. So the traits of this parenting style, authoritarian, is low warmth with strict rules. This prioritizes obedience over emotional connection, uses punitive discipline with little explanation. The outcomes of this usually leads to anxiety and low self-worth, as children may fear failure or disapproval, poor stress management, as children can have difficulties coping with setbacks due to lack of emotional support, and rigid thinking, reduced creativity and problem-solving skills. Why it fails? Well, this parenting style focuses on control over nurturing, leading to emotional suppression and insecurity. And often these traits are well present into adulthood. Next, we have permissive parenting. It is characterized by high warmth but very few boundaries. These parents are nurturing and affectionate but often avoid setting firm rules or expectations. So as a result, children may struggle with self-regulation, develop a sense of entitlement, and have difficulty coping with setbacks. So again, research published by Padilla, Walker, and Nelson in 2012 suggests that permissive parenting can lead to lower emotional resilience and poor impulse control in children. On the other hand, we have helicopter or snow plow parenting. So this involves excessive involvement in a child's life, often removing obstacles to prevent struggle. While well-intentioned, this approach can hinder a child's ability to develop problem-solving skills and independence. And studies such as Segrin et al. 2012 shows that children raised with this style may become overly dependent on parents, experience higher levels of anxiety, and struggle with resilience when faced with challenges. So both styles stem from a place of love, but research suggests that setting appropriate boundaries and allowing children to navigate challenges independently, fostering stronger emotional and psychological growth. So no parenting style is perfect, but striving for more warmth and structure, such as the authoritative parenting, creates a foundation for lifelong emotional well-being. Cultural and individual differences may influence these outcomes, but empathy and clear guidance remains universal pillars of healthy development. Research shows authoritative parenting is the gold standard. For example, teens raised this way report 30% lower anxiety rates by the APA, published in 2021. So some key takeaways for parents and how to incorporate a bit more authoritative parenting into their lifestyle is 1, validating feelings. I see that you're upset. Let's talk about how to handle this. 2, set clear expectations. We don't yell when we're angry. Let's take some deep breaths instead. And 3, encourage independence. What ideas do you have to solve this problem? Right? And avoiding authoritarian pitfalls such as replacing harsh punishments. We can replace harsh punishments with calm discussions about consequences. And prioritizing connection. Spend time listening to your child's perspective. One saying that I like to emphasize in child psychiatry is connection over correction. So, what style feels most familiar to you? And think about how you can incorporate more warmth and structure in your day-to-day. And again, as your child grows, so does your parenting. And it's never too late to shift towards a more warmth and structured parenting structure. So, what are the roles of parents? Well, there's many roles. There's many roles that parents can serve. But what the research shows consistently is 1, we are a healthy model of emotional behaviors, or at least can be for our children, right? How do we express our emotions as parents, as adults, right? We can even talk this out with them. Hey, I'm feeling frustrated because my meeting didn't go well today. I'm going to take a few deep breaths to calm down before we talk, right? Something like this can show children how to name feelings and use coping strategies, right? 2, we can also encourage problem solving by expressing our script, or what we're thinking, our thoughts, sharing them with our child. I made a mistake at work today, and I'm disappointed, but I'll ask my team for help tomorrow. Mistakes help us learn. So this teaches resilience and reframing challenges as opportunities, right? And also self-care, right? Knowing that we can prioritize our own self-care when we can listen to ourselves and realize what is it that we need in those moments, right? And so something like a parent can share is like, I'm feeling tired. I'm not going to read a book. So I'm going to read a book to recharge myself. It's important to listen to our bodies. So what does this do? This normalizes self-awareness and healthy boundaries, right? And it helps kind of prevent some of that people-pleasing traits that we can kind of see sometimes, right? And even how do we handle our own mistakes, right? Let's say, for example, you yell when you're feeling overwhelmed at your child. And so a repair script, something that you can kind of practice is, I'm sorry I raised my voice earlier. I was stressed, but that's not how I want to talk to you. Next time, I'll take a break when I feel upset, and we could both try something different. So what does this show? Well, it shows that, 1, repairing ruptures builds trust and models accountability, right? If you as a parent can take accountability for your actions, and when you perhaps were overwhelmed with emotions and proceeded in a way that you did not like, the ability to go ahead and show accountability for that and repair that relationship is an important lesson for a child to learn, because they can also mimic that behavior as well. So key phrase you kind of might help parents along the way is, watch what I do, not just what I say. Okay. And 2, another thing, a role as a parent that they can do is validating feelings without judging, right? Without judging actions. What is that TikTok that going around right now? It's, we listen and we don't judge. Well, yeah, that's quite important. It allows our children to feel safe to approach us when there's challenges and there's things that are overwhelming, things that they're unable to handle on their own and they need some help. But if they're fearing being reprimanded because we immediately invalidate their emotions and begin to criticize or judge them for their actions, then it teaches them that we're not a safe person to come to help problem solve. And I know that's not what parents want, right? So for an instance, you can see a scenario where your child throws a toy, right, when they're angry. So what can parents say? Well, what can we say? I can see that you're really angry right now. It's okay to feel mad, right? And then we kind of can set a boundary. Throwing toys isn't safe. Let's find another way to show your anger instead, right? Maybe you can offer and guide them by offering an alternative. Would you like to stomp your feet, squeeze a stress ball, right? Or draw how you're feeling, right? So this basically, why this works, well, this separates the emotion, which is valid, from the behavior, which we can then help redirect, right? And so although the emotions are valid, perhaps the behavior isn't, right? And that's where we can help step in and guide them on redirecting that behavior while giving validation to these intense emotions, right? And research shows that validation reduces tantrums long-term by building trust. So, and you want to avoid harmful sayings like, stop crying, it's not a big deal. This is dismissive of the feelings. It shows that, sadness or crying is an unacceptable feeling. Or, even things like, oh, good girls don't get angry, or, men don't cry, or big boys don't cry, which teaches shame, right? And emotions all have a purpose. And, you know, and although it's part of the normal human experiences, sometimes our actions behind our emotions are not valid, but the emotions are. And so we want to help create, lastly, we want to help create a safe space for emotional expression. So, and this can happen with check-ins, daily habits, checking in with your child. How was your heart today? Did anything make you feel happy, worried, upset? This can look in the form of emotional coaching. It's normal to feel nervous before a test. Let's practice some deep breathing together, right? And overall, harboring a physical safe space for them, right? And this, maybe we can create like a calm corner with pillows, art supplies, or a feelings chart where your child can retreat to process big emotions, right? And we can let them know by saying things like, you can always talk to me, even if your feelings are messy or confusing, I won't judge you. Let's figure this out together. And so this helps teach children that, with emotionally safe homes, they can actually have lower anxiety and stronger social skills. So better emotional development. And there's long-term impacts to this. Consistent validation and modeling helps children develop emotional vocabulary, trust their own feelings, and solve problems instead of suppressing emotions. And often, too often, after so much suppression of these emotions, they tend to come out one way or another, and it's usually in forms of anger. And so we want to help validate emotions, maybe redirect behaviors. And so your child doesn't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be the perfect parent, but the most important part is to just be present and one who tries. So emotional regulation skills and coping skills is a skill. Emotional regulation is a skill that children can learn, just like reading or riding a bike. By teaching kids how to understand and manage their emotions, we give them the tools to handle stress, build resilience, and navigate life's challenges effectively. One of the first steps is labeling emotions, right? When children can name how they're feeling, like frustration, sadness, or excitement, it helps them process these emotions in a healthy way. Instead of acting out, they can express themselves more clearly. And a simple way to do this is by asking, it looks like you're feeling frustrated. Can you tell me more about that? Right? Next, we can help model calm responses. Children learn from watching us. If we react to stress calmly, they're more likely to do the same. So taking a deep breath, speaking in a steady tone, and showing them how to manage difficult moments, right? What else can we do? Well, we can teach simple strategies to help them self-regulate, breathing exercises, counting to 10, using a feelings thermometer on a scale of 1 to 10. Right now, how scared are you? Oh, right, 7 out of 10. Okay, so something to kind of help track their emotions, or progress, or even something like progressive muscle relaxation, which we can talk about in a little bit, can all be effective. These tools give kids a sense of control over their emotions. And encourage problem solving, right? It's another key skill. Instead of immediately fixing the situation for them, guiding them through brainstorming situation. Ask, what do you think we can do to make this better? This helps build confidence and independence. More importantly, though, we should help children view their emotions as signals, not barriers, right? Frustration, for example, isn't a bad thing. It's often a sign that we are learning something challenging. So reframing emotions in this way fosters a growth mindset. So showing them that struggles are part of the process, right? And one practical tip is to create a calm down corner, right? Instead of using punitive timeouts, this is a space where kids can practice deep breathing, listening to soothing music, engage in sensory activities, or use art journaling to express their emotions. Instead of seeing their emotions as something to suppress, they learn that it's okay to feel and work through them instead. So, and by By practicing these strategies regularly, we can help children develop a strong emotional regulation skill set that will serve them throughout their lives. So, what are some practical activities to foster emotional skills? Well, helping children build emotional skills requires hands-on, engaging activities that make learning about emotions more fun and meaningful. Children learn through play, right? So one great method is using something like emotional charades, right? Kids act different emotions while others guess what they're feeling, right? This helps them recognize and express emotions in a playful way. And research shows that labeling emotions reduces anxiety and helps kids feel in control. Also, storytelling. Storytelling is another very powerful tool, right? Reading books that explore emotions or encouraging kids to discuss, write, draw how they feel each day can help them process their experiences and develop emotional awareness, right? As checking in as we're reading storybooks with our kids, we can pause a story and check in with the child. It's like, how are you feeling about that? Tell me more. And really just being curious about it, and it helps for them to identify their emotions and even what they want to do with those emotions. And as emotional coaches, we can help guide them navigate those emotions in a controlled setting. And finally, mindfulness practices like short guided meditations or deep breathing exercises can teach children how to manage their emotions in the moment. So these strategies help stay calm and focused even during stressful situations. Breathing exercises. Pretend that you're blowing up a balloon, right? Breathe in through your nose and blow out slowly. By making it more visual, we can make it a little bit more fun and something that we can practice in moments to kind of relax from big emotions, right? Counting to 10. When feelings feel too big, let's count slowly. 1, 2, 3. It gives your brain some time to cool down, right? And a feelings thermometer, right? We can draw a thermometer. We can get creative with it, right? Green equals calm. Red is overwhelmed. And we can ask, where are you now in this feelings thermometer? How can we get back to green, right? Or activities such as progressive muscle relaxation, right? This, like, let's squeeze our fists as tight lemons and then release, right? Now your arms are relaxed. Now try it with your toes, right? Try it with your biceps. Try it with your face, right? So by incorporating these activities into daily routines, we can help children strengthen their emotional intelligence, their emotional IQ, and build lifelong coping skills. But what is resilience? Well, resilience isn't innate, it's built. Think of it like a muscle. The more kids practice it, the stronger they get, right? Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and adapt to challenges. And some core skills include self-regulation, optimism, and problem solving. So teaching children to manage stress is one of the important parts of building up their resilience, right? So stress is a normal part of life, and helping children manage it effectively builds resilience and emotional strength. So first, what we need to do is help normalize stress. Kids should understand that stress is a natural response to challenges, not something to fear or avoid, right? So we can say stress is like a storm. It happens to everyone and it will pass. It's okay to feel stressed when things get tough, but let's talk about how to handle it together. And why something like this is important? Well, normalizing stress reduces shame. It helps kids see that it's a natural part of life, right? And then we can help employ stress relief techniques, right? When stress feels big, we can try these tools, right? Take deep breaths, inhale for 4, exhale for 6 seconds, right? We can move our bodies, dance, jump, run around the yard, squeeze a stress ball or hug a pillow. These tricks can help calm your brain and body. So why it matters? Why does it matter? Well, physical activity and breathing exercise reduce cortisol levels, this is a stress hormone, and boost mood, right? Physical activity boosts serotonin, which is a natural stress reliever. Even a 10-minute walk can reset a child's mood. And actually, there's some good research showing that team sports have more mental health, emotional, and social development benefits than individual sports. But all in all, physical activity could be part of your stress relief techniques that you employ with children and adolescents. Okay, and we can encourage healthy expression of feelings, right? So something like talking about your feelings is like opening a window. It lets fresh air in. If you're upset, tell me, I'm feeling stressed because blank. We'll figure it out together. So this encourages open communication, builds trust, and helps kids process emotions. Next is we can foster support networks, right? It's okay to ask for help. We can encourage help. Who can you talk to when you're stressed? Me, a teacher or friend? Remember, you don't have to handle everything alone. So why this is important? Well, support networks provide safety and perspective during tough times, right? And, sometimes our brains play tricks on us. So if we have a thought that is unhelpful, or they can we can teach the child that they can either throw it out or flush it away. But if it's a negative yet fixable thought, they can recycle it by finding a more balanced perspective. So if you think, for example, the child approaches you saying everything is ruined, you can ask yourself, or help them ask themselves, is that true? What's another way of looking at this? Let's recycle that thought into something helpful, right? Instead of, I'll never get this right, try, this is hard, but I'll keep practicing, right? That's one way that we can recycle our harmful thought, if it's repairable, right? If it's a thought that just simply does not serve us, we can flush it. If it's a good thought, more positive self-talk, then we can recycle that. So reframing negative thoughts builds resilience and optimism, right? And last thing, another practical tip is, create the stress toolbox that we kind of been alluding to throughout this presentation. So we can make a toolbox for them when, or we can work together to make a toolbox for when stress feels too big. So we can fill it up with things that you like a stress ball, a fidget toy, a favorite book, calm music, a feelings journal, to write or draw in. And when you're overwhelmed, use your toolbox to help your mind settle down. So why does it matter? It's we can employ sensory tools and calming activities to give kids a sense of control and safety. So key takeaway, stress doesn't have to be scary. By equipping kids with these strategies, we empower them to handle stress in healthy ways and build lifelong resilience. So how can we help promote a growth mindset in our children? Well, growth mindset helps children view challenges as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles to avoid. By fostering this mindset, we encourage resilience, perseverance, and a love for learning. So one of the things that we can start off with is praising effort, not just the results, right? Rather than saying, you're so smart, you're so good at that, right? We can say, we can praise their effort. I love how you kept trying even when it was tough. This reinforces the idea that growth comes from persistence, not innate ability. 2, we can reframe mistakes as learning opportunities, right? Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, we can teach kids to view them as valuable feedback. Encourage them to ask, what can I learn from this? This helps shift their focus from perfection to progress, right? 3, teach the power of yet. When a child says, I can't do this, we can add yet. I can't do this yet. This simple shift reminds them that abilities develop over time with practice and effort. 4, we can encourage problem solving and resilience, right? When kids struggle, resist the urge to step in immediately. Instead, guide them through brainstorming solutions. Learning to navigate challenges independently builds confidence and perseverance. We can also model a growth mindset, right? Child learns that from what they see. Share your own challenges and how you overcome them or overcame them. Show them that setbacks are a natural part of growth. And a growth tip that I can share with you will be helping kids understand that the brain grows stronger with effort, just like a muscle. The more they challenge themselves, the more their brain develops. And a practical tip, Carol Dweck's work with a researcher in child development shows that kids with a growth mindset tackle challenges 50% more often. Even J.K. Rowling had 12 rejections before publishing Harry Potter. So, a practical tip, something that we can use to kind of reinforce this growth mindset is maybe we can create a growth mindset jar. So when kids face a challenge, they can write it down and reflect on how they handled it or overcame it. This helps reinforce resilience and problem solving skills. They can put this note into the jar and kind of be as a reminder when the next time they encounter an obstacle and are having difficulties overcoming it, they can be reminded of the things that in the past they thought were difficult and probably felt that couldn't overcome, but did. So how do we build resilience? Well, resilience isn't just about bouncing back from challenges. It's built through everyday experiences that strengthen the child's confidence, adaptability, and problem-solving skills. So some things that we can do is help encourage hobbies, their creativities. Activities like art, music, sports give children a creative outlet to teach perseverance and build problem-solving skills in a fun and low-pressure way. We can also help support their resilience by providing age-appropriate responsibilities. Simple tasks like setting the table or feeding a pet helps kids develop an independence and a sense of accomplishment, right? Chores can teach responsibility. A 6-year-old setting the table learns I contribute to the family. This builds self-worth, right? Also, we can help by celebrating small wins. So recognizing their progress, even in small ways, reinforces their ability to overcome obstacles and build self-confidence. And stepping outside their comfort zone. Encourage children to take on new challenges within their zone of proximal development, right? And so you want to start small, whether it's trying a new activity or speaking up in a class so that they build a confidence step by step. The theory of, working within the zone of proximal development is, there's things that you can do on your own without any support, right? That's your comfort zone. Stepping just a bit outside of that is things that you can accomplish or can do with a bit of help or the right help, right? And so this is the zone of proximal development, which we kind of want to tap into to help encourage kids to step a little bit outside their comfort zone, try something that's a bit challenging, but still manageable with the right assistance or guidance, right? We want to prevent overwhelming the child and doing something that they physically or mentally are just not capable of doing yet, even with assistance. That way, we're not discouraging the act of trying things that are challenging. Instead, we're reinforcing the ability of trying things that are slightly challenging in kind of a stepwise fashion so that can help build their confidence and self-esteem. And additionally, a 2020 study by having Hurst in 2020 reviewed that the state of resilience as it pertains to protecting children from healthy impacts of early adversity. They identified 5 modalities, resilient factors to improve children's long and short-term health outcomes. So that was by including fostering positive appraisal styles in children and bolstering executive function, improving parenting, supporting maternal mental health, and teaching parents the importance of good self-care skills and consistent household routines, and offering an anticipatory guidance about the impact of trauma on children. We can use practical tips we can use affirmations like I can handle this to help kids develop a positive self-talk. Over time, the small mindset shifts help them approach challenges with confidence and resilience. So by weaving in these simple actions into our daily lives, we can help children develop the resilience that they need to thrive. Careful to not overwhelm them. We must be within their zone of proximal development, but being the right support for them at that time. As parents, it's important to recognize when additional support is needed. If a child is experiencing persistent emotional behavioral difficulties, signs of trauma, or when typical parenting strategies just aren't cutting it, seeking professional help is a crucial next step. Some of the interventions that can be helpful are PCIT or parent-child interaction therapy. So this helps improve child's behavior and strengthens the parent-child bond through guided interactions. It's a particularly effective intervention for younger children with behavioral challenges. The next intervention is child-parent psychotherapy, CPP. It's an interventional model that for children usually up to age 6 who have experienced at least one traumatic event and or are experiencing mental health, attachment, or behavioral problems, including post-traumatic stress disorder. Therapeutic sessions include the child and parent or primary caregiver. The primary goal of CPP is to support and strengthen the relationship between the child and his or her caregiver as a vehicle for restoring the child's cognitive, behavioral, and social functioning. Treatment also focuses on contextual factors that may affect the caregiver-child relationship. Another alternative for this is trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Again, the emphasis with this intervention is a history of trauma or attachment issues. The next intervention is emotional-focused parenting interventions. This program involves training in the 4 following specific skills, which is teaching emotional validation, a topic that we talked about earlier, working with parental emotional traps, right? Even some of that negative thought patterns, negative thoughts, things that we can flush or throw away or recycle if it's fixable, right? Also, increasing parental capacity to set healthy and flexible boundaries, right? This ties a little bit into the authoritative parenting that weren't yet clear boundaries and structure. And 4, repairing relationships between parent and child, which is something that, it goes back to the modeling and having a safe space to express emotions, where we can foster accountability and repair in relationships. The goal of this program is to increase parental motivation and to develop skills enabling parents to engage in new ways of relating with their child. Some take-home tips for parents. So as parents, we play a pivotal role in shaping our children's emotional and mental development. Here are some practical tips that can help nurture emotional resilience and problem-solving skills in your child. So we talked about some of these in one model. Consistent emotional behavior. As your child's primary role model, it's important to demonstrate emotional regulation and healthy coping mechanisms. When you face challenges, show them how you manage stress or frustration in a calm and constructive way. Kids mimic your behavior. If you stay calm during traffic, they will learn to manage frustration too. And so really, even the small moments matter. Create a safe space for emotions. It's essential to make your home a place where your child feels comfortable expressing their feelings without judgment. Validate their emotions and encourage open communication about how they feel. This helps them understand that emotions are natural and can be handled in a healthy way. 3, we can support independent problem solving. Allow your child the opportunity to work through challenges on their own, offering guidance only when necessary. Right? We want to work within their zone of proximal development. This helps develop critical thinking, decision-making skills that they will carry into adulthood. We also want to encourage a culture of learning and perseverance. Foster an environment where learning is valued and challenges are seen as opportunities for growth. Encourage your child to keep trying even when things get tough. Remind them that mistakes are part of the learning process. And perseverance is key to overcoming difficulties. And again, avoid snow plow parenting. It can be tempting to remove obstacles from your child's path to make them easier For them, however, it's important to allow them to face age-appropriate challenges. By overcoming difficulties on their own, they build resilience and develop problem-solving skills that will serve them throughout life. And last, really want to praise effort and persistence, not just talent. When you praise your child, focus on the effort that they're putting in, their perseverance, rather than simply their natural talent or intelligence. This helps build growth mindset, where they understand that their abilities can improve with hard work and dedication. By incorporating these strategies, you can help your child develop a strong sense of emotional resilience, problem-solving skills, setting them up for success in the future. These resources are gold. I wanted to include some books here as resources for parents in regards to some of the topics that we discuss here today. And I also want to provide some websites as well, including the Child Mind Institute, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the First Five Riverside County website. There's also other websites like the Family Service Association that offers various parenting programs, including those that focus on enhancing emotional development and resilience in children. I want to thank you for being a part of this journey today. As we wrap up today's presentation, let's visit the key takeaways. Understanding emotional milestones. Recognizing where your child is emotionally helps set realistic expectations. Each child develops at their own pace, and understanding these milestones can guide how you respond to their needs and support their growth. Coaching and modeling emotional regulation and resilience. As parents, you are the first teachers of emotional regulation. By modeling how to handle difficult emotions and showing resilience in the face of challenges, you're laying the foundation for your child to do the same. Your example speaks volumes. And promoting a growth mindset. Encourage your child to embrace challenges and view mistakes as opportunities to grow. Praise effort and perseverance rather than innate ability. This will help them develop a growth mindset where they believe their abilities can improve with practice and persistence. Remember, emotional growth is a journey, not a race. Every child will progress in their own time. Be patient, stay supportive, and celebrate the small victories along the way. Your consistent encouragement and guidance will help them navigate this journey with confidence. Thank you for your time and dedication to fostering emotional growth in your child. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of your day.